There is a quiet strength in this. You don't have to announce to the world that you've stopped being your old self. You don't need a declaration or a ceremony. The shift is registered in the way you move, the way you answer questions, the way you no longer force a version of you that doesn't exist anymore. You might still show up in the same places, with the same people, but your presence is different. There is more honesty in your yes, and more integrity in your no. You stop negotiating with your own soul for the sake of temporary comfort. Along the way, you might feel waves of doubt. You may ask yourself, who am I without this story? Without this role? Without these defenses? You may feel stripped, exposed, or like you're standing without the shield you've carried for years. That's because you are. You're learning to stand without armor in rooms where you used to hide behind it. It can feel raw, unfamiliar, and vulnerable. But underneath that vulnerability lives something else. A deeper, quieter confidence that isn't built on performance, but on presence. There will be memories that rise up to test you. Moments from your past where your old self had to adapt quickly to survive. Times when being small, agreeable, invisible, or accommodating kept you safe. When those memories surface, you might feel the urge to go back to those survival patterns as a way of honoring what you went through. But you honor your past self more fully by allowing them to rest. They handled what they had to handle. You are now living in a different chapter, with different tools and a different level of awareness. The moment you stop being your old self is not a single point in time. It's a series of small, sacred choices. The decision not to explain yourself when you feel misunderstood. The choice to leave a space when your body tightens instead of forcing yourself to stay and endure. The act of speaking your truth even when your voice trembles. The gentle refusal to participate in dynamics that drain you. Each decision is like a thread being pulled from the fabric of your old identity, until one day you realize the costume has come apart in your hands. You may look back at the old self with a mix of sadness and gratitude. Sadness for how long you lived in their shape, even after it started hurting. Gratitude for how they carried what you weren't yet ready to heal. Over time, your relationship with who you used to be becomes softer. You stop seeing them as a problem to fix and start seeing them as a phase of your becoming. Important, necessary, and complete. Eventually, you notice that your life feels different, even in the smallest routines. You wake up and feel just a little more at home in your own skin. You walk into spaces that once made you shrink and stand a little taller without forcing it. You hear your own laughter, and it sounds less like a mask and more like something real. You catch yourself making choices that the old you would have never believed you were allowed to make. You may still feel fear uncertainty, or hesitation. But underneath it, there is a quiet knowing. You are no longer willing to abandon yourself to maintain a version of you that no longer exists. This is the moment you stop being your old self. Not when everything is perfect. Not when you've healed every wound. Not when every trace of fear is gone. But when, in the middle of all of that, you begin choosing an alignment with who you are now instead of who you were taught to be. When your inner yes and no start guiding you more than habit or expectation. When your loyalty shifts from your past identity to your present truth. You don't have to rush this. You don't have to prove anything. You are allowed to grow at the pace that feels kind to your nervous system. You are allowed to be both tender and strong. You are allowed to feel unsure and still move forward. What matters is not that you never slip into old patterns again, but that when you do, you notice more quickly, forgive yourself more gently, and return to yourself more fully. The old self will fade, not because you fight it, but because you simply stop feeding it. You stop rehearsing old stories. You stop justifying what hurts you. You stop making a home in dynamics that require you to betray yourself. And little by little, a new version of you takes root. One that moves with more honesty, more clarity, more quiet power. One that knows you are allowed to live a life that fits who you really are. You are not losing yourself in this process. You are recovering yourself. The moment you stop being your old self is the moment you begin living as the person you've always been, beneath the roles, the stories, and the survival strategies. It won't look dramatic from the outside. No one may even notice. But you will know. Your body will know. Your life will know. And that knowing will shape everything that comes next.